Hi, Fred. Today we're going to talk about an article I found over in Sweden, where they're actually taking their food guidelines and their environmental guidelines and putting them together so they create less of an impact on CO2 gases on the planet Earth, as well as trying to encourage people to be healthier. So could you try to comment more so on, the internal health of someone in relationship to the CO2 gas levels of greenhouse effect from how they're eating, please?
Well, yeah, I think everybody realizes that we have a problem today with our environment and greenhouse gases, and a lot of people are trying to get people to eat more of a plant-based diet and switch away from eating animal proteins, because the waste products from that the animals, cows and different animals are having, it's creating different types of gases from their waste that is having a profound impact on our environment. And our environment today, with what's taking place as far as our climatic changes, the weather changes that everybody's talking about, and you're hearing so much information about. And some people think that the future, if we don't change the condition of the greenhouse gases, that we could have some catastrophic problems in our society. And we have to remember that, this planet is a vast ecosystem. Everything is connected, and there's a very sophisticated equilibrium in our environment that if we change it too much with greenhouse gases, the impact of greenhouse gases is going to have effect on us internally. And what I think the Swedes are talking about there, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this, but what I think they're talking about there, different plants give off different gases, and they're trying to label and give the effect of different foods and encourage people to eat more of the foods that are just as nutritious and will not have an impact on our environment. Now, this is really very, very important. I think a lot of people don't realize the severity of the problem that could develop if we do not get a handle on our greenhouse gases. It could have an impact on just about everything on this planet if it was to get bad enough. Not only our health, but many, many other situations. I personally believe that we should be eating a plant-based diet, and we should reduce the intake of animal protein. Unfortunately, many people think that the only source of complete protein is animal protein, and to me, that is ridiculous. Now, I've been living on without animal protein for over 40 years, and I must say I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm functioning pretty well. You can get all the amino acids from another source. What you can't get from animal protein might be vitamin B12, and you're much better off supplementing the B12 and giving up all the negatives, not only for our internal existence, but for the existence of this planet. We have to change here. We can't get into the concept that more of the problem that's causing the situation to deteriorate by increasing what the problem is and looking for an answer. What we're doing is not working. We have to change. And there are people that are trying to institute these changes in effective greenhouse gases, in the fact that the food that you eat, that it has on the impact of greenhouse gases, and also the impact it has on our internal gas system. People don't realize the impact of internal gases. A lot of people worried about greenhouse gases. They don't realize the effect of internal gases, what it can have on your blood chemistry, on the gases that exist in your cells. There's a lot of new information coming out now that's really, really fabulous to make us get a better idea of what's really happening here and why we have to change. Now, my personal belief is that what I like to try to do is to speak to people on a personal level, to institute changes in people one at a time, and by speaking to people over the internet and through the communication media, to impact more and more people. Because I think one by one, we can have great changes that can grow in from 1 to hundreds to thousands and maybe even to millions. The impact could be dramatic. The answer is available. I'm sorry to say that some of this, you really don't need all these studies because this is perfectly safe. You're talking about food. That's all you're talking about here. And lifestyle changes. And now they're spending so much money on all these different studies. Well, that's great. But if the studies are done correctly and they're introducing numbing variables, it's going to confirm what nature's already been telling us to do for 1,000 years. So, we got to change. We got to implement changes. And how we start this is on a personal level. And how we do that on a personal level, we got to speak out, make people aware that there's power in unity. We want people, in our society and in our government, the leadership in our government, to hear our voices, and so we could support them in making the correct change. We got a lot of great leaders out there, and they have to be encouraged so they can make these changes. The future is in our hands. The future is our children and our grandchildren. We have to make decisions today about these very serious issues: greenhouse gases, lifestyle changes, diet, settle some of the controversies about, the difference of opinions, quote, quote, scientifically about how much protein you should be eating. Can you be a healthy vegan? A lot of people are being told you can't be a healthy vegetarian. It's not true. Or can you eat some animal protein and be healthy? Yes, you can. That's going to upset a lot of people, I think, but it's true. So the key is we need more funding to do the research. Love to have the funding so we can do our own research. We got the people behind us, the scientists that can do the research. We need the funding. If we get the funding, we're going to be able to create our own research. There's plenty of universities that are ready to do the research. You got to have the money. And you got to have the research to change, to make large changes in large populations. But we want to do it the best we can right now. We believe we're on the right path. We got the right people to support us. Now what we're trying to do is get the message out there. We want to be able to look at every situation. I want to be able to encourage people to have a voice in what's happening with greenhouse gases, what's happening in the research, the chemicals that are being used in our food, and to be able to to inspire them to be a willing participant in their own change in lifestyle.
Great. Thank you, Fred, very much for those thoughts about nature and greenhouse gases and how the gases are affected inside the human body. Again, if you want any more information, please go to www.fredbishyforhealth.com. Check out the blog and all our other videos loaded with information. Thank you very much.